Hi, everybody. Oh my goodness, it feels so good to be home, although I had the best time in Pyeongchang, South Korea for the Pyeongchang 2018 Winter Olympic Games. I'm PJ Kwong, otherwise known as @SkatingPJ, and I am delighted to have you back together again with me for Facebook Live. I want to give a shout out to some of my favorite skating friends, Bev Smith, who is @Bev Smith Writes, International Figure Skating Magazine. You want to make sure to check them out. Then Ted Flett, who was not at the Olympic Games, but Jackie Wong. Holla! Thank you, Craig. I feel good to be home. Jackie Wong, by the way, made it into an article on the Wall Street Journal. So congratulations to Jackie. That's fantastic. And then, who else am I missing, Paul?
Blake, Ryan?
Ted Flett. Ryan Stevens, what's wrong with me? I have completely lost my mind. Leah, it's so nice to have you here join us with figure skating. Hey, Courtney, good to have chatted with you intermittently while I was in Korea. So I want to know what your questions are about those Korean Olympic Games. They were so much fun. Hi Maya. I was the figure skating announcer, so I had a rink side seat for all of the action. And I have to tell you that on my predictions on CBC Olympics or cbcsports.ca, you can look it up, I was 4 for 5. Oh yeah. I predicted gold for Team Canada. I predicted gold for Yuzuru Hanyu, Alina Zagitova, Tessa Virtue, and Scott Moyer. And the only one I missed, the pairs. The pairs ended up going to Alyona Savchenko and Bruno Massot with very good reason. The Chinese team of Wen Jingsui and Song Han were not quite as strong as they could have been. They were my pick for Olympic champions, and it was only 0.37 that separated the two teams. It was a pretty interesting and fantastic event. So congratulations to all of the Olympians. Well done. The skating was terrific top to bottom, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm interested in what your favorite event was. I'm interested in knowing kind of what you thought. And Michelle, you know what? The skating was amazing. I am 100% in agreement with you. Now, there were a couple of things that came up. There were lots of people who thought that Yevgenia Medvedeva would eventually prevail over Alina Zagitova. But to tell you the truth, I thought Alina was fantastic. I know that she's got all of those jumps in the back half of the program, but that's worth the extra 10%. And guess what? It's about a competition. Grant, the Germans were unbelievable. I'm so pleased for Alyona Savchenko and Bruno Massot. Alyona, a 5-time Olympian, if you can believe it. 2-time Olympic bronze medalist with former partner Robin Sholkovy. So that was absolutely wonderful. Elizabeth, I didn't really accept. I saw a couple of athletes sort of in passing, but not really. They keep everybody in their lane.
That's what I thought. That would be an interesting, like maybe difference between when you're at a more ISU event or Skate Canada as opposed to this.
When you're at an ISU event or Skate Canada, you can see everybody all of the time. But at the Olympic Games, we go in and out through separate doors, and there may as well be an electric fence, tall and high. But I was able to wave at a few of the skaters, so that was great. Nick, Aussie Skate, so good to see you again. I thought you'd be trying to sleep for this point. I mean, at this point, to tell you the truth. Not sure what time it is where you are, but thank you so much for joining me. And you know what? Ice dance was wonderful. It was really touch and go. The French did not leave anything on the table. I really felt for her in the short dance with that sort of dress mishap, but Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer earned it. So congratulations to them. They are the most decorated figure skaters of all time. So
1 p.m. in Australia.
Oh my God! Oh, then that's not so bad. You know what, Grant? I thought that it was really smart for Zagitova to do what she did. And you know what? I really like her. I'm sorry. I know she's 15. I know that she lacks maturity. I know that there's still a whole lot more to come. But if you're going to look like a ballerina, and really, with Don Quixote, with that costume, with the way the program was put together, I really love it. I agree with you. Tessa and Scott, that was fantastic. Volunteers were wonderful, Elizabeth. There wasn't anything that you asked for that people didn't try and help you with. So it was a very relaxed games. People were very happy to be there. I know it's on the other side of the world, but it was really quite wonderful. And Yevgenia, as far as Yevgenia Medvedeva not taking the Olympic gold, she's recovering from a broken foot. I I mean, the fact that she was even there at all and able to collect a silver medal, I thought was really quite remarkable. Yes, Paul?
So there's a question about the wardrobe malfunction.
Yes.
The French had problems with the dress in the warm-up. Didn't they have problems with this dress even before that?
Well, I was not aware of that, but you told me that Karenina and Kurt Browning talked about some problems. Yeah. And it's interesting because most of the time women who are in a dress where they're not feeling 100% secure will just simply secure it with needle and thread. They'll sew themselves into the skating dress, into the costume. So I don't know exactly what happened. Regardless, you know, woman to woman, person to person, I really felt for her. Nathan Chen, Nick, I want to say, unreal. You go, Nathan Chen.
Don't you think? I know people are talking about all his quads and everything, but also to me, it spoke to the judging system that somebody could be so far back.
Yeah.
And they were still talking about him maybe being on the podium, like in the last group. And it was like, this is crazy. You
know what? To tell you the truth, it is amazing. We were watching the men's event unfold, and Nathan Chen, who skated like, I don't know, it took him till like skater 20 to beat him. He was really quite something. And if another couple of skaters had sort of faltered dramatically in the free, he would have ended up with a bronze medal. So that was quite dramatic. As far as the first time that two Russian ladies on the podium at once, you know what? I'd have to look it up. I'm not 100% sure, but it strikes me that it might be. And they're both quality women, the two Russians. I like them both a whole lot. For me, Yevgenia's program to Anna Karenina, I don't really understand the direction. I love her skating. I think that she has an absolutely angelic face. And unlike so many other people, I love the jumps with the hands over the head. I think she does it beautifully. And it gives her, again, more points. And if the object of the game is to get as many points as possible, then you know what? Smart. But I still think that Caitlin Osmond's free program was the most well constructed. I thought it was beautiful. Congratulations to Jeff Buttle for that. Danielle Earl, I bet you my jet lag is like your jet lag, girl. I'm kind of sleepy. I wonder if you are too. We saw each other not once during the Olympic Games, but we did see each other at the Toronto airport on the way back. So welcome home to you as well.
Yeah, that's what we were just saying.
Yeah, Elizabeth, you're absolutely right. That is exactly what we were talking about, is the fact that under the old system, to be able to jump from 17th to 5th place would not have happened. It also speaks to the fact that this is a quality skater. And you know what? I do not want to minimize the Laurie Nickel effect. Laurie did a beautiful program for Nathan, and he's still very young. So the fact that he's able to have something to sort of hang his artistic hat on, I think is really the right decision for him. And I love to see what else he's going to do. Any fun backstage stories for us? Well, you know what? To tell you the truth, my part of the world, hold on, just going to take a little sip. The content store. That's what Paul and I do. Anyway, we always have a good time. So the stories are not so much about backstage, what's going on in the like in the skaters area. I don't really know, but what's going on in my corner of the world is always a whole lot of fun. Marc-Antoine, the amazing reception for Yuzuru's free skate. It was raining Pooh Bears. It was absolutely hilarious, and they were ready for it. To see they doubled up or tripled up on the number of flower retrievers, whatever you call those kids that pick up the flowers and the gifts. And then all we saw was Pooh Bears being pelted onto the ice. It was the most hilarious thing. It took like a minute to pick them up.
Was it really true? Because they said this, and I just thought was blown away that he just started jumping a few weeks before and was only starting back on quads like 2 weeks before.
Well, I saw him.
Unbelievable.
I know. I saw him unexpectedly at the cricket club. That's right. And I didn't want to mention the fact that I had seen him skate because I wasn't there in kind of any kind of official capacity. I just happened to see him skate, and it was great to see him back on the ice. But the fact that it's been reported in the Japanese press that he was only really back to 30%. But you know what? That to me tells me everything about being an Olympian, capital Olympian, because this was a young man who decided a long time ago that he was going to get himself to a point where he could skate that 7 minutes, like basically between short, 7.5 minutes between short and free, and just make it happen. So I have nothing but admiration for Yuzuru Hanyu. Congratulations. back-to-back Olympic champion, first time since 1952. 1952. Last time that happened was American legend Dick Button. So wonderful. Chris Irwin wants to know, skating crowds, like, they were fantastic. We were the place to be. The Korean president showed up. He also went to short track. We had Vice President Pence, I think, came to figure skating, or maybe he went to short track as well. Everyone went to short track. That crowd was crazy. But the ones that came to figure skating, they knew what they were looking at. And it was interesting, in the ice dance event, the ovation, not ovation, but the applause for the French ice dancers Gabriela Papadakis and Guillaume Cizeron, it was a little bit sort of like polite applause. And then when Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer skated, they skated last. They just knocked the lights out of the building. It was fantastic. So the fact that the crowd was able to sort of judge for themselves the difference between the two programs, both were great. But Tessa and Scott's was sprinkled with a little bit of skating magic. So that was a real thrill. I was there for their first Olympic gold, and now their second. It's pretty exciting stuff. Same with Yuzuru Henyu. Mind you, I have been doing figure skating at the Olympics since 2002, so I've seen a few things. Well, that's a very good question, Deb. Why is Yevgenia viewed better than Caitlin? I don't know that she's, certainly, technically, you know what? Those Russian girls, 1 and 2, they are fantastic. In terms of their jumps, they can't be beat. So I think that that's the reason why. On the ice, all of them have great strength, great power. What Caitlin has that the other two don't is a little bit of maturity. And again, the construction of that Black Swan program by Jeffrey Buttle is outstanding. Lance Vipond with the short program, again, is a beautiful program, beautifully constructed, great artistry, great charisma that reaches way out into the audience. But the Alina Zagitova, she was in it to win it, and she planned accordingly. Her strategy was good, and she had a great clean skate. So that's what happened. It's nice to know, Kelly, that they knocked it out through the television screen too, because I'm telling you, in the building, it was so fantastic. If you go look at my blog this week, it talks about what it was like to be in the rink at Pyeongchang. You'll see a couple of pictures that my colleague Amanda, one of the venue producers, took for me. I like to call her Slamanda because I've known her since Salt Lake. Get it? I've got my daughter Amanda, I've got Smart Amanda, and now I've got Slamanda. Anyway, I was happy to see Satoko Mirahara skate well too, Nick. She has struggled this season. You know what though? She is a horse of a different color. She's delicate. She floats across the ice. She's very graceful, but she does not have that loud skating voice that both Medvedeva, Zagitova, and also Osmond have. She is a little bit more reticent. I think that's the way to put it, but graceful and terrific on the ice. So it was great to see that she had done really well. Anybody else have any favorite moments from the Olympic Games? I also have to tell you that when I saw the German pair win their Olympic program, they just knew that they had done it. And then backstage, we all saw that shot of them in the green room talking and crying. I loved it.
Maybe this is a bit of a downer.
Here's Paul with the downer.
But it was, but just, didn't you just feel for Gabby?
Oh, I felt for Gabby during the event. You know what? We've all been there. The thing that was the most wonderful, and Pauline, yes, I am going to Worlds for CBC Sports. I am so excited. I'm going to see if I can persuade some people to do some Facebook Lives with me. You know how I love the Facebook Lives. Gabby Daleman, you bet. We've all had that skate. I mean, Caitlin Osmond, now Olympic bronze medalist, had that skate at Skate Canada where she fell 5 times. Sometimes an idea gets into your head. It's very hard to dissuade yourself from that idea. I know that I had an entire season where I said Canada, and every time I went to say Canada, it came out Canada. So it just got in my head. So I could see that from that opening combination in the short program, her triple toe, which is her go-to combination, it just, by the time she hit the free, she was uncertain. I am sure she is a tigress, that one. I am sure that she will come back stronger than ever. That is somebody who will not, she'll just not let this get her down. But in the short term, it was hard. You know what's the best thing of all? I don't know if you saw this on television, but we saw it in the venue. a shot of the Canadian team, all there supporting her. That's the part that I love about all of this. And that's what I love about Canadian figure skaters. The Americans do a very good job of supporting each other as well. I know that Adam Rippon was offered an NBC gig after his skate, and he decided no, that he had come to be an Olympian, he'd come to be part of the team, and he wanted to support his friend Marai. So I think that was really kind of terrific. So I love you skaters, the fact that you are there for each other in the good moments and in the much more challenging moments. That makes me feel really proud to know all of you skaters. I also, so for the team event, Nick from Aussie Skates, you know, there's a lot of chat going back and forth about it. One of the things that people think about is that if we were to do the team event after the event, it means that there are certain skaters who are there for an extremely long time, who okay, Sue Ann, I do have an answer to that question. So, okay, I got distracted there for a second. It's the jet lag talking. But man, doesn't my hair look cute?
Yeah, somebody mentioned it, don't worry.
Did they?
Yes.
Okay.
I
got it done at a Korean hairdresser. It was so much fun. And they put these gloves on my hands. I don't think it had anything to do with my hair necessarily, but it sure was nice. Okay, back to skating.
Back to the skating, please.
Okay, do I think the team event? Okay, so here's what I think about the team event. I think that for non-skating people and for the regular world and for the IOC, it checks off a lot of boxes. For those of us inside the skating world, I think it's wonderful that people win an extra medal. I think it's a great warm-up and tune-up for some of the skaters. Those of us who are old-fashioned and just plain old, like I am, we don't really see the team event yet as having the same value as the individual medals. So I'm very happy for all the skaters who won that. I mean, that makes Tess and Scott 3-time Olympic gold medalists, 2-time Olympic silver medalists. I think it's terrific. And as I said, as a tune-up, I think that it's great. But I think it's a real challenge for the skaters, some of them having to skate 4 programs. But you know what was wonderful? Megan DeHelma and Eric Radford, after the, let's say, pairs event team in their free program, afterward they said 2 strong programs down, 2 more to go. And that's exactly what they did. So that part was great. The fact that Caitlin Osmond worked out the kinks in her short program in the team event, and that set her up for the individual.
I think it actually benefited Virtual Moyer to get out there in front of people, and it helped with the momentum.
Yeah,
like just,
sure did.
You know, everyone talking about them and so on. So yeah.
Well, and there's so many strategies. So for Gabriela Papadakis and thanks Heather, for Gabriela Papadakis and Guillaume Cizeron, they did not arrive in time for the team event. They did not arrive until later. So you know what? That jet lag. That jet lag can be a real killer. So you just don't feel like yourself for the better part of a week. It's a 14-hour time change, well, at least for those of us from North America. So so Marc-Antoine likes the team event first. Set up storylines. Well, you know what? I think that you're right from that standpoint. I can't see the see more part, but I do think that the fact that it can set things up, and really part of the Olympic Games is attracting a whole new audience. So from that standpoint, okay, are you talking about should have stopped and gone to the referee? So Grant, they would have been way further behind, probably with a program interruption. So that's probably why they didn't do it. And I wasn't really aware of there being a problem with the costume. I was standing there. So thanks, Jacqueline. That's nice of you to say. What were we going to say, Paul?
No, keep going.
Paul was trying to do something here, which is always very interesting.
Because they're talking about what the French team, why didn't they stop?
Yeah.
There was a reasoning behind it, that from the coach's perspective.
Well, I think that the deduction that they would have taken for a program interruption would have been more than what they ended up sort of losing. So anyway, that's what I'm pretty sure about. I'll double check with my pal Carol, and the next time we get together, which will be next Wednesday, I better see all of you here. That's definitely what we're going to be taking a look at. I want you guys to go get if you get a chance to go to cbcsports.ca or CBC Olympics. Yeah, they would get exactly, that's what I just said, Nick. I agree with you. They would get the penalty for not just the costume, but for program interruption. So, and I didn't notice the replays either until the very end of the freelance, and I was there. So hats off to them for continuing to skate like they did. I spoke to their coach, Hagenauer, one of their coaches. Of course, the other coaches are Marie-France Dubreuil and Patrice Lauzon, and with a little sprinkling of Pascal Denis. So congratulations to all of my Canadian pals there in Montreal. But I just said to him, I'm so sorry that that happened. That was really a tough moment. But he said it's all good and that the dress was perfect for the free program, and it was. So skating to Moonlight Sonata like they did with the beautiful long flowing costumes and those great lines, they could not have done anything any better, I don't think. So anyway, guys, I am so excited to be back. Looking forward to Facebook Lives for the next, there'll be 3 in a row today, then next week, then the week after, always on a Wednesday. I'm back to blogging on my website, pjkwong.com, and I want you to make sure that you go check out the 17, that's right, 17 blogs I wrote for CBC's Olympic coverage. It was so much fun to be able to give you a little bit of insight and a little bit of analysis on what was going on back there. And I will... I don't think that's the truth, Lorraine. I think they would have won anyway. They are the better skaters. Anyway, that's just me. Virtue and Warrior were my call. Again, I called 4 out of 5 gold medals, Paul. I'm really quite proud of that. That's really hard to do a month away from the Olympics when people are injured, when everything else is going on. So check it out. cbcsports.ca, and that will take you, I'm sure, to the Olympic coverage, or just search for it online. You guys have been great. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.